Hello, ho, ho, and yeah, welcome back to Python, welcome back to tkinter, and welcome back to graphical user interfaces. And yeah, today let's delete this. And today we are diving deeper into buttons, covering more about buttons, even more, because we already covered buttons, but only the surface, and there's a big iceberg regarding that topic. So yeah, you can do much more than just adding a little button, defining a command and a background color and a text. So yeah, as a quick reminder, let's first make a button and a GUI. First do a GUI object or a TK object, TK point TK, like already we did it in our previous videos. We also did a main loop in our previous videos. And yeah, we also placed a button like button equal GUI point, no, TK point button. Text, which defines the text, the text of the button, click me baby one more time. And yeah, button point place, x equals 40, y equals 40. And now if we run our GUI, we should also, set the geometry like GUI point geometry. Let's say no picture 400 and 600. Now again, yeah, click me baby one more time. This is a simple button. One thing that you already know probably is the background. You can set the background color to red with BG. Yeah, now we have a red background, and you also can use the border argument, BD argument. Now a string with a 10, for example. And now we have borders, as you can see here, with pretty thickness, because 10 means about 10 pixels, I guess. And we can even go move up to 100. Now having an even bigger button. Yeah, if you need this, probably you won't. But yeah, this is pretty simple and self-explaining, but if we want to attend a more modern style, we use TTK widgets. So if you don't know what I mean with that, don't worry, what you need is the code I'm providing, or the code, not, and the rest you will probably understand later, because I didn't understand it as well at first. So we just need to import tkinter.ttk as ttk. We can also, can do it like this. And we can say GUI point, no, we don't need to change this, but we can now use a TTK button. As you probably see, if it's not covered by the GUI, but it isn't, now you can see that we have a yellow underline regarding the BG and BD argument, because we don't need that. This is not used in this way if we use it in the TTK library or package, but we can now define a style. So we can define a certain style, and the style can be put in as an argument to the TTK button, and then everything will change, and the style is now kind of a recipe for our button. So now let's define a recipe. First of all, we need to create a style object. And first of all, and this is also a confusing part, we need a string which defines the name of our recipe. We already had to declare a variable, set up a variable name, we named it style, but now we also need a string name for this, for our recipe. We call it Ute, which is a German name. And now T button, which is referring to tkinter TTK buttons. Yeah, now after using the style, you can also define a font. and I did it entirely wrong, and I now remember I did that a lot of times, because yeah, a style, you just declare the style. Now we after declaring the style, and this is the hard part in my opinion, because it is, you don't do it like you did it maybe in other packages, where we just create the object and then set the arguments. Now we have to use the configure function to define the arguments. And with that, we can do something like here. Like I already said, we need a string name, t point t button. If it has to be applied to a button, we always have to name the string however we want, but it has to end with point t button. And this T and B in uppercase, the U, the double T, the O, and the N in lowercase. Okay, now we can finally define a font. For example, Arial, 15 for the size, and bold, because it should be bold. We can also do something like underline, but yeah, I want bold. And now to assign, or to tell our new button that it has a certain style, we type in style equals, and now not style like you may probably know, probably think, but we need our style string. Yeah, pretty confusing. It was pretty confusing for me at first too, but here we go. This is how it works, and as you can see, the layout is entirely different. It's probably differs because we now use a TTK button and not a TK button, but it also differs because we had a font Arial 15. Can also use the background or the foreground, and I'm too stupid to type, foreground equals green. And yeah, now it is green. Pretty simple, but not that easy in my opinion. Okay, now we come to the second thing. So yeah, you probably realize I needed another recording because I kind of messed up at this point. Okay, what we're gonna do now, we can also type in background like this, background equals yellow. And now if we run it, let me show you. It is still not yellow as the background. And yeah, that is because I typed background wrong. So you should always type it widely. But now what I really wanted to show is that we got a little yellow frame around the button, but the button isn't, the background isn't yellow at all. And that's because the usual theme of TTK doesn't like backgrounds. So yeah, to change that, we type in style point theme use, and yeah, alt for alternative. And if we now run it, we finally got our yellow background. Okay. Now if we move our cursor around or above it and wanna click it, we see that the background changes. So how can we, now we come to the next topic, how can we change the background at all depending on if the cursor is above the button or not? Yeah, so we learn a new function which is called style point map. And yeah, as an input, we need ute point t button. And I probably didn't mention it before. If you name your style, it is really important that you use point t button because it is referring to the TTK button. If I already mentioned it, I'm sorry. If I didn't, please keep that in mind. And style was uppercase. Okay, now we can type something like, foreground. It is important that you type these arguments white because I always did that wrong a lot of times, and got many issues by that because I didn't realize what was wrong, but I simply wrote the argument wrong. Okay, now foreground, if we use the map, we kind of decide in which condition the button has which which properties, attributes, however we want to call it, like the foreground color. And we can type something like active, the first input of the tuple, and yeah, the more important and complicated stuff, because we are now heading to more advanced territory. I should probably explain it a little bit more. We have this square bracket and this regular brackets, and we need a list, and inside this list we need a tuple or multiple tuples. Okay, now we can type in something like active. First part of the tuple, second could be black. And yeah, now we can type, we can try it first. We run the code. And now if we move at it, we see, when we move above it, we see, now the writing turns black. Perfect. We also want to change the background. So background equals, and again, square brackets, usual brackets, a tuple inside a list, active, and comma, and now we can type in red. And if we now run it, as you can see here, now this, while moving the cursor, it gets red. Perfect, like we wanted to see it. And and if we now delete the alternative design, you see the frame moves instead of it. So font should also be possible being changed, like if we type in font equals, again, square brackets, curly, regular brackets, no curly brackets. Now we have our font, but first of all we need something like, again, active. And now the font. Now if we run it, try it again. This won't, okay, this doesn't probably work with the map function. But anyways, you can try it for yourself. Some arguments can be altered with by the map function, some not. As we now found out, a font won't be altered, but with background and stuff like that, it is possible. And that's probably it. I don't have anything left to say, except I wish you a wonderful evening, wonderful dinner time, night time, whatever time it is in your country. And hopefully see you in the next video. Please leave a comment regarding feedback, advice, suggestions. Please do a thumbs up if you liked the video, a thumbs down if you disliked it. And what else I wanted to say? Sorry if some stuff was chaotic, but problem was that this was a little bit complicated regarding the syntax, even for me. Oh, what means even for me? I'm not the pro, totally not. But it was kind of complicated. So see you hopefully in the next video, where we cover more easy topics, hopefully. See you and bye bye.